Hello, this is Amy with Paper Moon Journals. Welcome to my channel and thank you for joining me today. What I have in front of us is the project that we're going to make step by step. First I'll show it to you. I sure love an envelope project. I think the main reason is envelopes are so accessible and we always have some. Here I'm showing you the most adorable little kitten and how I added lace, a ribbon bow, a paper flower, the plaque. There's more lace across the top. There's a tiny little piece of house. Here's a whole house that I shrunk down to make into a tag. It's covered with glitter in different places, as you'll see if you watch the process video. Moving it around, trying to get the glitter to show for you on camera. I don't think it does. Here's a tiny little kitty paper doll with a bow, and there's lace on her trim on her dress, and that pumpkin is all glittery. There's some glitter inside her ears. They are oh so sweet. Okay, here we are starting the construction part of the project. I have out a different embossing folder than the one I used. I'm not sure where I put that one. It doesn't really matter. Whatever you use, it will make your project look nice. I'm explaining here that the portion that sticks out of the embossing folder, well, first I say it's a 9.5 inch envelope that's like 3.5 inches wide, something like that. I have all of the measurements down in the description, but when you put it back into the embossing folder, you want to flip the envelope around so that when you fold the bottom half up, the textured side of the embossing will be on both the flip up and the top side. Here I am just measuring it to make sure it looks the same as the one I've already made. I do recall that there's something I could have done to make it easier here, which would be if we did all the inking now and before I continued moving forward. That's not what happened. I get really excited when I'm filming. I can't wait to share these projects with you. I've rounded the corners and I cut one end of the envelope open. I leave the other end glued shut, and I don't glue this pocket down on the sides. I just wrap it with this black seam binding and tie it in a bow. I don't know about you, but when I tie my bows, the tails stick upside down unless I turn the project upside down. So that could be a tip for you if this happens to you. This envelope has printing on one of the sides, so I will use a scrap to cover that up. We'll be putting lace on the bottom, but I didn't want those other colors competing with my project. I'll save those ribbon scraps and use them someplace else. Okay, I've jumped ahead where I've glued down that little scrap, and I only tacked down the ribbon to make it easy to put things under there if I want. It would have been easier if I'd inked that up before, but I inked it up and also skipped ahead so you didn't have to watch. I cut that 3-inch lace in half and used one half on the front half and the other half on the bottom half. Here I am with the little dollies. I backed them onto chipboard so that they have dimension and they're nice and sturdy. And I'll show you some of the other things that we'll be using. The little dollies are from the Pixie Dust Files Spooky Season Cat digital set. I also used the Haunted Dollhouse and the Spooky Season papers. Please look down to the description. I'll tell you exactly which pages I used of those files. And I printed things in different sizes, and I give you tips on how I printed things. Essentially, my printer doesn't give me a lot of control over the different sizes. I have to pick standard photo sizes. So for the larger kitty cats, I printed them landscape, fit to page, and for the little tiny ones that are in front of us now, I printed them to a 4x6 image. There I am showing the little plaques. I backed those on chipboard. That came from the labels page of the file. And I backed the little skull, the little plaque, the little name pieces on chipboard. This little house I printed 5:7 as a 5:7 inch image, and then I've backed that little house. I think that one I printed 4:6 and backed that on chipboard. These are the Spooky Season papers, page 6. I backed those onto chipboard. Again, all the measurements for the tags and everything are in the description. The big tag is, let me look, 7.5 inches long, and the short tag is 5.5 inches long. Both of them are 2.5 inches wide because that's what fits my 3-way tag top punch, which I enjoy using. And here I'm showing you the little orange pieces. They are oriented with the writing upside down to you. My apology for that, but you can see the dimensions there. And again, they're written in the description. This is a new tool for me and I love it. These black scraps were what started the idea for this project. I saw them, knew they would fit in this punch, and decided to make an envelope project with some cute tags to go inside of it. If you don't have this punch and you still want to do the project, of course you can trace the top of another tag that you have, or just cut it with angle top corners. I think this looks nice. It gives it a professional finish. I used heavyweight cardstock for the base. It was 85 pound. I think this is just standard weight cardstock here. I feel like the orange is too bright, and so I knock that back and give it a more Halloween-y feel by hitting it with some black ink and stamping it. This is a stamp I got free with an order, but I did put something in my Amazon links, including all of the tools and supplies that I used for this project. Everything but the digitals are on the Amazon affiliate link down there, and the link when you get over to Amazon is called the Halloween Kitty Junk Mail Envelope Project. So if you don't want to read, all of the tools and everything are written into the description as well as the link. For me, I would think it would be fun to just click on the link and scroll the list and see what I didn't already have. But you do you, and it's really nice to just use what you have. That's what I did. I've been making these for years and collecting things slowly. This is my 5th year of making junk journaling, and I just bought this tool myself. So there's that. Here I am gluing down the chipboard backing pieces that are in the spooky season papers, and then gluing those orange pieces that we inked up and stamped on, grungied them up. I want to keep track that we do a good job matching the original project, aside from changing out the kitties and a couple small changes. This is a way you can make the same project and really personalize it to your own touch by using papers and things that you have instead of the things I'm showing here. The kitty cats are a focal point and the little houses are backgrounds. And the rest of it is just layering. These are skills and techniques you can use on any project. I've cut that little scrap of house I had left and I'm deciding which will go on which tag. That house looks better on this tag, but because it's so tall, I moved it over and then decided I would add some lace to disguise the edge of it. I think that happens here in a minute. But first I play around with the little dollies and make sure I like how they look before I start gluing things down. Dry fit it, it's called. We dry fit the little dollies and the elements to see how we like it. I glued the stairs down that I cut out. I was able to use all of the last house and only used part of the stairs from this one. If I just put a pumpkin there, I'll be able to use this house on another project in its entirety. Here I am, disguising that edge with the lace. So even though I'm making it very similar to the other one, it won't be exactly the same. That's really how my custom orders go for my shop too. If people order something from my shop and they liked something that was already there and I offer to do a custom order, I always offer it will be similar to the one that's there but not exactly the same. And if there's anything that was important to them, usually it's a sentiment. I like to put positive sentiments in my journal. I'm continuing away on this project. I've got little tiny lace scraps. Any lace scraps on my desk will get glued down onto this project at one point, sooner or later. That lace didn't want to stay glued down, so I'm using some paper clips to hold it down while it dries. That short tag is pretty much done. I pushed it off to one side for things to dry while we're working on embellishing this little cutie pie here. I use a tiny scrap of sari silk and try to cut it into a triangle shape. My fingers have gotten coated with glue at this point and they are very sticky. They're way more sticky than the project. I stop and wash my hands at some point here. I hope you find watching this get decorated in high speed as entertaining as I do. I sure love watching these videos from other people. I'm adding more of the tiny little lace scraps and little ribbon to the project. Adding that little bit of ribbon to the house trim was inspired. And you may notice that the skull is a little bit darker on the right hand side. I had taken to it with my ink and grungied it up on the right hand side. I also had printed it in a 4x6 size to page, which I thought suited the project a little bit better than the 5x7 page size that I had requested print with the other skull. Both are cute. I love both of them. That long tag is done and it's been pushed off to the side for those elements to dry, and we've returned back to the short tag and we're ready to add our Stickles glitter glue. It's on the materials and supply list as well as on the Amazon links if you need it or are curious. I am using the Art Glitter brand glue as well as in my tiny little dispenser. I'm using the grapefruit color and the Mercury Glass colors on these projects today. I have some eyelets. This one's yellow. I preferred orange. I had two of the perfect orange color that I wanted matching for this project. Set them aside somewhere, and then when it came time to film, I could only find one more orange one. So yeah, I don't think you noticed that one had an orange eyelet and the other one had a yellow one. I have the eyelets, the Cropadile, every tool and anything I could think of that I use here. The Graphic 45 Black Chipboard. I really like their chipboard. It's much easier to cut through. It feels softer to the scissors when I'm cutting it to back projects like this. And especially for Halloween things, the black just seems to disappear underneath the project. Or if the edge of the chipboard is visible from the side, that black just looks like a shadow. Paying close attention, you might have seen me add a tiny scrap of sari silk to make a fabric effect on the hat for that one tag. Now I've got this adorable little paper dolly out. I'm adding some makeup and some color to her clothes to make her pop and to personalize it to my project. This is a great way you can make your project individual. I'm adding more Stickles glitter and tiny little scrap that was on my desk I cut in half and used to add lace texture to her little cape that sticks out behind. I've now got out the little house that I had, the other one from the page, and I'm adding some gold wax to that. This is also on the Amazon affiliate supply link, and it's also in the description box below. I know I keep saying that, but I have to do these voiceovers a couple times, and I can't remember if I'm repeating myself in this recording or not. It's so much fun though. I really do enjoy it. Here I am with more of that grapefruit Stickles glitter, adding it wherever I can think. The more of this glitter that I use on the project, the better. I've added all the glitter, fabric, lace, little dimensional flowers, everything I can think of. I want to pack it into this envelope even though it was still drying. Here's some close-up photos of it after the glitter finished drying. It is so sweet. I love that angry looking little kitty and this small tag with her in front of the house. Every single one of these is precious. Thank you for watching my channel. I hope you really found this inspiring, entertaining. I would love it if you would comment, tag me in anything you make. I hope you have a wonderful day.